Okay, my name is Manuel Angel Hidalgo. I'm 77 years old. I'm a retired Army officer. I retired from the Army in 1980. I then started to sell insurance, but got canned after about 7 years because I wasn't any good at it. I then started a business, and one led to another, and one led to another. So I was a successful entrepreneur, and I sold my last business 5 years ago. I now am fully retired. And I mention my background because we're going to talk about immigration later on, and I've got some opinions on immigration. But I think we want to talk about the things that are in the news right now, or should be in the news. Benghazi. We can't let Benghazi go. They whitewashed it. We should go to the Congressional Oversight Committee and ask them to call Hillary Clinton and General Petraeus and anybody else that had anything to do with that input to the lie they gave the American public. We have a right to know the answer to that. Okay, now, the next thing I'd like to talk about is the Middle East. We've had a disastrous foreign policy there. I don't know what we can do about it, but I'm concerned because we just sent over 1,000 Marines over to Jordan. Now, what are they going to do? Secure the Jordan border with armed Marines when the refugees are coming in from Syria? We can't afford to get involved in another one. We get deep trouble in the Arab world. Now, let's talk about immigration for a minute. The Gang of Eight has a bipartisan immigration bill in quotes. Let me tell you some of the good things about it and why you should write your congressmen or senators. Now, when you write your congressman, and we'll talk about that, you should send them an email or a letter and call. And you're going to get an answer back that is number 75. So whenever you ask a question this particular, they've got form letters that they're going to send you. So then you say, you didn't answer my question. So with a telephone call, you follow it up. And then you follow it up with snail mail. And you get your friends to do the same thing. All right, now let's talk about this immigration bill. And I mentioned that I'm a first-generation Hispanic. And I did it intentionally. Because our biggest problem is coming from the southern border. We're getting people from China, and I understand all of that. But they're coming in from the southern border, and there's no provisions to secure the border. The Secretary has 180 days, that's the Secretary of Homeland Security, has 180 days after the bill is signed to submit a plan on how they're going to secure the border for 90%. Is that acceptable? And not to me, and I've sent congressmen. Another thing they have, if they don't secure the border by get 90% security, they can, after 4 years, they're going to form a committee. Now, isn't that wonderful? And the e-verification is a joke. It's an easy bill to read, and you can find that. So urge your friends not to pass that bill until we secure our border. I'm not saying to deport all those people. The other thing, the provision is to allow non-educated people to come into this country. So we're talking over a 10-year period of time to probably have new citizens of 35 million, which is basically the population of Canada. Now, the reason we don't want to bring all these people in is because there's no jobs for them, and we're never going to have jobs for them. We have a different economy. For example, Ashland, I think it's Ashland, but a major furniture manufacturer, I think it's Ashland, is bringing back manufacturing to High Point, North Carolina. They're investing millions of dollars in building a super factory. The problem is, instead of employing 5,000 people, they're going to employ 700 because of robotics and automation. And that's true across the board. So I urge you to write your polls and tell them not to sign that bill until we secure the border.
Well, folks, after looking Washington over, I'm convinced that this country does not need a good 5-cent cigar. What the country and fewer politicians.